Now in this edition of Vietnam in Close-Up, we are going to take a look at a Vietnamese e-commerce website, nhóm. This is a deal of the day website that operates under the Groupon model. The company's internal conflicts drove it into the crisis that not only affects the nhóm image and operations, but also lowers consumers' confidence in online transactions in general. In practical terms, the crisis even slowed down the development of e-commerce in Vietnam. VTV reporter Minh Ha has more.
The website was inaccessible. Customers were angered when their vouchers were rejected. The company's headquarters were blockaded by economic police. Internal conflicts occurred. These are images that nhóm, one of the leading deal of the day websites in Vietnam, put into public view in the last 2 weeks. Though the nhóm website resumed operations after a 4-day shutdown, the company has ruined its image and caused impacts to online businesses in Vietnam in many ways. Crisis group purchasings or nhóm in crisis are among headlines or titles that have heated up the online community in the past 2 weeks. The company's crisis has raised questions and lessons on crisis management, legal framework for e-commerce, and impacts on e-commerce in Vietnam.
Nhóm was not clever when dealing with the crisis. In such a situation, they could have launched more responsible messages and assure people involved who are their coupon buyers, service providers, investors, public or media agencies, and authorities. However, nhóm failed to do it.
Group purchasing, like Groupon, has been one of the 2 most popular online business models in Vietnam in recent years, with more than 1 million users. The 2011 Groupon turnover hit over $35 million. According to Nguyễn Đình, head of media at the Vietnam E-commerce Association, nhóm crisis has lowered consumers' confidence in the group purchasing model, partly hindering the Vietnamese e-commerce development.
Tôi cho rằng thương mại điện tử Việt Nam có một cái tiềm năng hết sức to lớn.
I think Vietnam e-commerce has a very large potential when it comes to the country's usage percentage of e-commerce in a comparison with the world. There is a figure that is calculated based on the retail turnover through e-commerce over total turnover of the retail industry of the country. The figures of the US, Japan, and China are 5%, 6%, and 4% respectively. That of Vietnam is only 0.3 to 0.5%. This means there is still a big opportunity for those who take shortcuts using the internet to sell their products to customers domestically and internationally. However, the nhóm crisis has slowed down the development of Vietnamese e-commerce.
Của nhóm mua vừa qua thì cũng sẽ góp phần làm chậm lại một chút.
Vietnam has constructed a legal framework for businesses operating in e-commerce. These are the government's 2006 decree on e-commerce management and circulars in 2008 and 2010 to provide implementation guidelines. However, these documents haven't met the rapid development of e-commerce in Vietnam.
In the nhóm case, there are relationships among services suppliers, website management unit, and consumers. This is a three-sided relationship. Consumers in this case are badly affected because the current legal framework lacks regulations that can protect their rights.
Chúng tôi nghĩ rằng là sẽ hết sức cần thiết các cái vai trò trung gian.
There should be intermediaries, including consumer rights protection groups, payment services acting as an electric purse, and trading centers to support e-commerce transactions and help protect partners in those transactions.
Quyền lợi của các bên hữu quan trong thương mại điện tử.
Convenient, simple payment procedures and large discounts are factors that attract customers to buy items online in a time of economic crisis. Currently, there are over 30 million internet users in Vietnam. This will surely speed up the development of the country's e-commerce in the coming years. But the development requires more tools and legal regulations in order to protect the rights and benefits of participants and enable the sustainable development of e-commerce in Vietnam.